Hey everyone, it's Bob again, and we're going to do a truck tour today. This is my assigned truck. It's a 2021 W900. Had it for about 2 years, and right now it's at about 320,000 miles. This is an ISX 15 liter, rated at 565 horse. And it's not as good as a Cat as far as pulling, but it does quite well. So I don't complain too much.
Turbo.
It's turboed, yes. And it's a filthy mess. Oh, it's a 306-inch wheelbase, which is a little long, but it gave me plenty of room. However, on the newer ones that we're ordering, they're tightening up the fuel tank right up against that. So the newer ones are only a 295 wheelbase, and they still got the same size box, so it turns a little bit better. But anyway, this side I've just got my coil racks and things like that in there, and 150 gallon on this side. There's the DPF under that step. Got my battery box there. Yes, we're still running DEF. And they've got that gap there on this side too, so they really could have moved them up. And they did move them up on the new truck we just got on the road, and we've got one more on order. So they're supposed to be the shorter wheelbase. A really long double slide. It's still too far forward to do any good. That fifth wheel goes back quite a ways, but it could go back a little further and it wouldn't hurt anything, because I can't move it too far forward or I'm going to have too much weight on the steer axle. So, but it still works out. I replaced those with some LEDs, the work lights, and they are really nice and bright, so they give you good light. Or, you know, if somebody had a mind to, they could, if somebody come up behind them with high beams on, it reminds people very nicely that they need to dim their lights. Okay. Since it's a 72-inch sleeper, it's got a lot more room up in the front there than the 60-inch, which I really like. I keep my tools, my bag of snakes, and my rope to tie down the tarps, and all the stuff that I need. My corner holder so I can put it on top. I have this fits inside the sleeper, and then you can extend it out, and you can install your corners up on a really high load that way. A lot of places don't like you climbing on your truck to do that, because people have sued them when they fall off. I carry a broom so I can clean off things. I carry a jug of oil that has floor dry on it in case I spill anything. I actually have two of these, so if I have a spill, I got something to clean it up with. Airline antifreeze. And, you know, a lot of other stuff. You just got to carry whatever, you know, you never know what you're going to run into, and once you've run into it once, you end up having it for the next time. Carry extra water. I don't need it with this truck because it doesn't leak, but once in a while when you lose a hose, once in a while when you lose coolant hose or something like that, it comes in handy to have water and oil and stuff like that. So I keep all that on this side. Okay, I just unloaded a couple of trailers, so I have a whole lot of straps. But it's probably a good thing because this one doesn't look like it's going to be that good for very long. Keep my corners in here. My strap winder upper. And this side works really good. That way if they get wet, they do get warm enough inside there, they actually dry out. Some guys keep them back here, but they never dry out in the winter. This is just the newer style Kenworth interior. They did order all the full gauge package, and as you can see under my ELD, I mean, there's a gauge under there, but I built a panel to hold my two phones because I've got a truck phone and my phone, and I put this mount up here for my ELD. But I've got a full gauge package which goes all the way over there. You don't need that many gauges. So I put the ones that I don't really care about over here, put this mount underneath it, and that's what holds my ELD. And we got the JJ Keller ELD, but it's also got the smart wheel. So I've got my cruise control up here and my jake brake here. I can flash my headlights here. I can cut out my running lights or flash them. Yeah, we're just under 320,000 miles. We got it on the road in August of 2020. And we've been running pretty good. So in the back here, it's kind of a mess. I was going to clean it up beforehand, but hey, you know, this is the way it really works. Okay, this, I hadn't run across these before, but for the armrest, they made it so they fold out of the way. I guess they've been doing that for a couple years. Takes a little getting used to, but it works okay. I took the one off of this side and I put it on this side because it only comes with one armrest on each one, and if you leave them here, then they kind of break, you know, make it hard to get in back. It's supposed to make it easy, but it's still, you know, you only got so much room, and for a fat guy you need a little extra room. But anyway, I took it off of this side and put it on this side because it's kind of a long way over to the armrest on the door. And so this way it has them both right there. Okay, so it's like that. It drops down. It's not supposed to on, you know, it doesn't do it on this side, but I'm kind of liking that it drops down there because there's not enough room with the curtain behind it for it to go back. So you have it there, or it'll drop down out of the way. In the sleeper, I have a couple of shelves that I keep, you know, my snacks and stuff in. Got a closet here. Keep my winter gear there. In fact, that's what I got out. Got my bibs, my big heavy jacket, and my backpack with all my stuff in it. And it goes in there nice and put away. I keep my vest and stuff up on top because I always need those. My hard hat, my gloves. This side's just a couple of shelves. I do have a desk that will fold out here. So if you do anything, you can, I did get a laptop for Christmas, so I'll be doing editing from here. So that'll come in real handy. But other than that, it's just a couple shelves that I can keep stuff in. Got my vacuum in there, an extra microphone and a radio, stuff like that. Fridge down here. I've been out of it for a couple days, so I've only got water in there. Probably frozen. I've had this TV for a few years, got it at a truck stop, and I just don't ever hardly watch anything. They gave me a Roku for Christmas a year ago, but unless you have a good Wi-Fi source, it just you can't ever watch anything. It's always buffering. But with the laptop, I might be able to plug in my hard drive with some movies and then just watch it from there. So, but I hardly ever have the time to watch it, so, but it's nice to have in case you do. One of the nice things I do like about this sleeper is we've got the windows, and the one I had before, that it was just a solid window, it did not open. It is really nice to have the airflow through here if you got a little breeze. You can actually sleep back here even if it's in the upper 70s and lower 80s if you open up the windows on either side and you get a breeze through. And I've got a fan that so that way you don't have to have the truck running. Under here I've got my heater vent, and on the control panel here I have my heater control. So this is an auxiliary heater which the truck can be off, and it burns some of the diesel fuel. So you just turn it on and it'll set whatever temperature. It doesn't take much. If you leave it, it comes on at 72, and if you leave it on that, it'll cook you out in about 15 minutes because it's a really good heater. I have an inverter up there that plugs in there, and I've got my wire, you know, my power cord goes up to my CPAP up there, so that's what the hose is. It's tall enough. I'm 6'1", I just barely bumped the ceiling, but it's way nicer than the old style when you had to, even the sit-down sleepers that you would come through the opening here. When the roof is only this tall, it's not, I mean, it's nice to be able to stand up. So I like that. I like the wide opening. These curtains, I have never even opened them since this truck was new, or closed them, because they're such a pain to kind of get to close. I added this little curtain thing that I just bought at Walmart. It's just a darkening curtain. Made some little hooks out of coat hanger, I think it was, and just kind of put it up there, and it just goes all the way across. It slides in this little molding piece up here, so I can slide it all the way across, and makes it a lot easier. So it's just I pull it across and pull it back, and it goes down to the bottom of the seat, so it keeps the sun out of, or, you know, when it gets light, it darkens it out really good back here. So that's pretty much the truck. My home away from home. This is adequate. You can live in the truck. We had one guy that did for 4 or 5 years. I like having the room when I'm in the truck, but I like being home, so, you know, whether it's really technically necessary. I mean, we're usually one day out and one day back, maybe a second night, and this is way nice for that. Well, that's the truck tour. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions that I might not have covered, leave them in the comments. We'll cover it in a future video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.